Hey everybody, it's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan. This is a quick video. It's actually a follow-up to a story that started to develop in the beginning of March. And I think if you're an XRP holder, you were interested in knowing how this was going to be addressed. It was a roadmap that was being drawn up by the BIS, the Bank of International Settlements, along with some regulators and treasury officials from around the world. And they were going to present this to the G20 and ask them to back their plan, which was to lay out the steps of how to improve the process and reduce the cost. The fact is there is some urgency involved here because the correspondent banking model is really failing. Banks are pulling out. It is proving to be very costly, and also there's a greater risk as of late because of the currency volatility. So with the fact that the banks don't have those partnerships with pre-funded accounts, it's really getting more and more difficult to do cross-border remittances. So we all know that RippleNet technology and the Ripple network with the digital asset XRP really solves this. So this is why we were most interested in seeing the roadmap. But unfortunately, from what I can research and find, this topic was not discussed because there is really a shift in focus. The South Morning China Post did report that the communication took place by video conference, and it lasted for nearly 2 hours. They are really focused on agreeing on how to develop an action plan because the IMF now expects that the global economic fallout will trigger a global recession. And it's just when it rains, it pours. This year's meeting was called by the year's chair, Saudi Arabia, and they are in a really messy battle over the price of oil with Russia. So I just know that the action plan for looking at the roadmap and being backed was probably pushed down on the list of priorities. There's a fairly good recap on Bloomberg today about that call, and the focus is really working towards a joint response. All right, the most sobering statement came from the IMF managing director, Kristalina Georgieva, and she says that 80 countries are requesting help already. Now, I know countries will need debt relief, but households are going to need debt relief too. It is scary when she says that the global growth for 2020 is now negative, and a recession that is going to occur will be as bad as 2008 or worse. So I think that really has everybody now sitting up straight and paying attention. And then there's another emergency meeting that'll take place Tuesday. This is the G7. It is a conference call. It is with the G7. It's a conference call that's going to be chaired by Mnuchin. And on that call will also be the Federal Reserve Chairman, Jerome Powell. The G7 is US, Japan, Germany, Britain, France, Italy, Canada. And I think what I read also in preparing for this video, that India's Prime Minister Modi will also be on that call. So there is a lot happening. So if they are going to give some countries debt relief, boy, I'll tell you, there's going to be households that need it too, because household debt is as high as it was in 2008, and it's at an unimaginable 47.3 trillion. This is 60% of the global GDP. American household debt is even higher, 75.9% GDP. So it is very dicey. And Democrats in the US in the last 24 hours propose for giving $30,000 in student debt for borrowers during this global outbreak. But this is not a permanent forgiveness. This is a temporary forgiveness. I just think there's going to be a lot of action required for sure. And in keeping you up to date with what's happening in Japan and the Olympics, tonight, Abe-san is going to hold a phone talk with the IOC chief Mr. Bach, and I think they're going to come up with a solution, or at least a proposal or an announcement as to what they're going to do. I think this is good. Everybody needs clarity. I think hanging in limbo is really difficult, and I think we all feel like we are in limbo right now. I'm going to jump to a quick fluff, and it's about the limbo that will probably end for some people who have bought condominiums in the Olympic Village. The Olympic Village, this is what it looks like. It is out in Tokyo Bay, and it is it's beautiful, actually. They did it in a Japanese modern architectural style. It has 3,900 trees planted in 100 different varieties, and there are 51 common rooms among the 24 buildings. Those common rooms include a book room, sports room, kids room, craft room, and so on. There's a car sharing space. There are share houses, senior housing, nursing care. It's really a real village. And it is these 2-tower, 50-story high-rises that have been sold. And those people who bought those condos paid up to $1 million to get these, I think 84 square meters is the size, with extra tall ceilings. And this is their view, which is really spectacular. This is Odaiba. This is Fuji Television here. This is actually a small little island that has since been expanded by being filled in, but it once had cannons on the islands to protect Tokyo Bay during the Edo period. And then you look over to the central part of Tokyo. This is called Shibata. This is this area. Toshiba headquarters is right on this waterfront, along with Sony Pictures Japan, I think is this building here. As you move over, you go into Hamamacho, Yuracho, and Ginza. So this is really, let me show you what this view looks like. This is the nighttime view looking back over the Rainbow Bridge. So Odaiba is on the left, and this is central Tokyo here. And so that is your $1 million view in Tokyo. All right, everybody, do take care. I have another video coming, totally separate in terms of content, which is why I chose to break it up today. Do take care. Sayonara for now. Bye-bye.